We are back with another podcast. I am Rick.
I'm Josh.
And Josh is now going to tell you what he's listening to, but let me also tell you that we're here with June and Sam of Space Camp. Hi.
Hi.
And we will talk to them later. But first we're going to do what we always do and talk about what we're listening to.
Okay. Jacob Scott, Instrumentality.
You want me to do that one over?
No.
All right.
Just full disclosure for the people, like that's the
That's
second
take two.
Okay.
And I messed it up almost the entirely same way.
Cool. So again, Jacob Scott, Instrumentality on El Carrizo. Grave, Posthumous Humiliation on Profound Lore, which is real dense, heavy, fast. King Midas Sound Solitude on Cosmos Rhythmatic.
A chess game. Reading. Showering. Watching TV till the early hours. Waiting for the other one to fall asleep. And for all our efforts, the fire would not burn bright.
And then the new Lana Del Rey single, "Hope is a Dangerous Thing for a Woman Like Me to have, but I have it." And that's a real weird thing because there's no release date for it for the actual album. They're saying mid to like late mid 2019, but there's been like singles and shit since like last year. So that's weird.
She seems to have a weird PR thing.
Yeah. She's gonna release a book of poetry as like a teaser, and that there's no release date for that either.
Except hope is a dangerous thing for a woman like me to have. Hope is a dangerous thing.
What about you? What are you listening to?
I'm listening to that Jim O'Rourke Not Waving collaboration on Diagonal. It's just called Side A and Side B. It's another thing, whereas like last time Josh mentioned something he was listening to that's not coming out till April. That's not coming out till April either. So
April's a big month.
You can stream it for now, and then when it comes out physically in April, we'll have it. MZ412, Svartmerker on Cold Spring Records. That's he's an old head in the Swedish black industrial scene that we all hang out in, and it's really good, and it's dark, and it's black, and it's industrial. The Dina Abdul Wahed, that is phonetically how it's spelled, but I'm sure it's not how it's actually pronounced. It's Konar, and that is also phonetically how it's works out, but I have no idea how it's pronounced. On the Infine label, and that's a Tunisian producer. She's pretty neat. House music, and you'll hear some of it right now.
أدعيك حبا
This one is sort of a cheat for me because it's something I listen to kind of constantly. It came out in 2012.
It's linea aspera, by the way.
What did I say? Aspera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the line on your femur where the muscles connect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's on Dark Entries, and it just got a repress, and it rules. It's Alison Lewis, former project. She went on to do Kelluar, and Zoe Zanias is her current incarnation. All sort of in the same vein of dark wave,
Dark Entries stuff.
Dark Entries type stuff. Yeah. That double mixed, which might be double mixed for all I know. It's romance noir. It's the Italians Do It Better label, and it's one of the rare instances of a band on that label not being a Johnny Jewel project. It's a Parisian duo.
Ma belle romance noire. Ma jolie môme. Le jour à ma-
That is what I'm listening to. Sam or June, who wants to start?
Jump in.
Jump in. Tell us what you're listening to.
I've been listening to the new Solange, When I Get Home, I believe it's called. The two new Carly Rae Jepsen singles, both great. This band Wet, the album's called You Don't. It's like really cool, just like clean pop. I was gonna say another one and I can't remember what it is, so
It's pretty good off the dome.
yeah, it's just been a lot of like stuff like that.
You're just cruising. You want spring.
I want spring, but also this is kind of all I listen to now.
Want spring forever. I've been listening to I guess not a lot of new stuff recently, but like Sophie, and then the new Kim Petras and Sophie single that was pretty good, and then Laurie Anderson's album with the Kronos Quartet.
That's great.
It was awesome. I listened. I spent a lot of time with that. So yeah, I think those are like big ones.
Yeah, that was a sick record for last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tight. Won the Grammy, I think, right?
Did it?
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't keep track of any of that shit.
I think it went for the small.
It's like the Grammy they
chamber.
don't televise.
It's not
Yeah.
televised,
Definitely.
but-
Yeah.
And they played Wesleyan and we didn't go.
Kronos did,
Yeah.
not with Laurie.
Yeah,
Anderson.
yeah.
Yeah, Kronos played at the Hartford the whatever.
Real Art Ways.
No, the
No.
bigger one. The
Bushnell?
Hartford,
The Bushnell.
Bushnell, yeah.
I was just
Totally
thinking of
missed it.
anything. Yeah.
It was,
What's in
I
Hartford?
went. It was pretty sick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We seem to miss a lot of the things that are in Hartford. I hear about it after the fact.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know.
we're too southern.
Jeez. We're 20 minutes south.
20
Keep
minutes
it in
south. I don't
country.
know what the hell's going on with those northern boys, but
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Space Camp. You guys are from South Windsor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Northern
North
girls.
Center, maybe.
true. Yeah, well, neither of us actually live in South Windsor anymore. I actually live in Northampton in Massachusetts.
And I live in Hartford.
we've abandoned South Windsor.
Yeah. Get it.
Yeah, we practice at my parents' house, so it's like we're technically still from South Windsor. We were just there.
Yeah, we were just.
Is it just because that's where you can keep your equipment?
Yeah, and like it's a practice spot.
It's relatively in the middle of us right now.
And they're still cool with it, so.
They love it.
They,
All right,
they
that's
love
great.
to see us.
I don't want to put words in their mouth, but when we're not there, they kind of miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I've been upstairs when like Sam's been drumming. Like you can hear everything. with
It's
you,
almost
so-
louder.
It's almost louder upstairs. Yeah, it's bad, but it's fine.
You remember that kid Jay who was in that band, An American Family. Both of his parents were deaf, and they would get mad about band practices because of the vibration.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to that kid wherever he is.
Yeah, wherever.
The
it is.
vibrations are real. My parents will sometimes text us like stuff's falling off the walls. Like, can you turn it down a little bit?
So you go full bore for practice too?
Yeah, you want to get the
okay.
vibe. Also, like, I think it carries more, or we're just really used to it.
Yeah, I feel like we're really used to it. Earplugs in, whole practice, Gotta no practicing half volume. We don't know how to do that. Anyway.
So, and you've been practicing there for the full. You guys have been a band for 7 years.
Ooh,
not
it's
that
like more
big
like
yet.
5.
5, yeah.
5?
We like existed in some pretty comical
Okay.
like orientations until we got to where we are now, which
Okay.
is like,
I saw some social media stuff that said like 2013 or something.
yeah. Wait, 2013 was
6 years
6 years ago. Okay,
Yeah.
That was our first
our demo
Our
came out
demo.
in 2013.
made on a garage band.
Extremely regrettable.
There's stuff coming out on like bigger labels that's definitely just recorded with.
Oh, yeah.
GarageBand,
Oh yeah, I mean,
so-
Umbrella by Rihanna was recorded in GarageBand, and that's like one of the greatest songs of all time. So like, no shade towards the GarageBand. I think it was more towards like we had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah,
Sure.
it was sick. yeah,
It's hard to find. If you know about the Space Camp demo.
Okay, so you've abandoned South Windsor and you moved to Massachusetts. What are you doing in Massachusetts? Just hanging?
Yeah, I mean, I went to UMass. I graduated
Oh, okay.
last year, and now I'm just living there. It's it's really nice. We play there almost more than we play Connecticut, so it's like we've there's a lot of really great people there, a lot of cool places, a lot of great bands. I bake. I'm a baker up there, so.
What spot?
Small Oven in East Hampton. It's right down the
Okay.
street from the Flywheel. If you've
Okay.
ever been to Flywheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely delicious.
Yeah. We do like the OG start to finish croissant, like no holds barred, like it's a good croissant.
A friend of mine has a tattoo shop up there.
Oh,
Shark.
is it Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in your Shark Tank.
All right, cool. Shout out to
That's
Sharky.
Sharky.
So you put out a record in November, and you already recorded, or you've wrote at least a full album?
Yes.
Yeah.
Since then?
the EP we put out in the fall, it's like we recorded it like a year ago at this
Oh,
point.
okay.
Yeah, so I think the last time we were in the studio was this time last year. So we're due for another return.
Yeah, and also I think June and I just kind of started going, like the record that we have coming out, like it was, the writing was so like fast and seamless, and it just happened.
Because it's just the two of you now.
Yeah, and yeah, we just have like a chemistry.
So you didn't feel what's the right word? Like you lose like the bass tone, like you lost a bass player.
Yeah.
So you like lose that like comfortable like something to sit on.
Absolutely.
So like with the two of you now, you have to occupy space, and you do, because I've seen it live twice now, and it it's big. It's I don't know what the right word is, but like you occupy the space. Like it doesn't feel like there's an element missing from what you're doing.
Yeah, it definitely took us a second to get there. Like when we were first without the bass player, or when we would play shows without a bass player, which we had done before becoming a two-piece permanently, it was hard to get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a challenge at first.
Yeah, and now I think we're at the point where like we still have that sort of like bassless, like kind of like dinky, like piano and drum sound, but it's only when like we want it to be there. So like sometimes it really, you are missing that bass, but it's not like it never comes in. So it's like a little bit more on purpose than it used to be.
Yeah, I mean there's also seems to be a bit of trading off between the two of you, where like you're getting something ready, so there's like some sort of weird drum / pad thing that's going on. So I mean you're definitely making it work. And like today I was like trying to go through and figure out like what's a good comparison band.
Word.
And like, there's a different obviously like, I've never seen you as a three piece or a 4-piece. I've only seen the 2-piece. So like, obviously that's different than the recording. So like the recordings sound more like a full band, you know what I mean? But the live show is something else. So like, I was thinking like a bunch of bands, and you might take offense to half of them. But really what I ended up doing was watching the clip from Who Framed Roger Rabbit where there's the dueling duck pianos.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a deep cut.
And that's kind of what the live set is like.
Cool.
I
like that.
Could be the best answer possible.
I'm a big fan of like when people make a comparison to us without naming like a 3-1G band, because we've got that for so long. And now I think that like sometimes we'll play a little bit slowly now, and that like throws people off, so we don't get the comparison as much. But when we were just like playing like fast and hard and like with like a bunch of ring mod on the bass all the time, people would be like, "You guys sound like the Locust," and like people still say that to us. But and then like you
think you're gonna lose that not having a bass player.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, you could still make comparisons to like Arab on Radar or something.
Yeah, people say that too.
You know, probably more akin to Lightning Bolt now, or you know, this or in Zombie in the way where they used to switch off who was doing an interesting thing, but not musically at all.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm down for like a dynamic comparison, not necessarily like a sonic one. Like I think that's creative.
Yeah, if you could drop in where the ducks are doing the dueling pianos in the speakeasy, thank you.
Cool.
Great.
Just, I was doing a deep dive on the Twitter, and I did notice that 3-1G thing when you retweeted the Boston Hassle thing. But also in the Boston Hassle article, the things they did compare you to were so regional.
I read that. But like they also don't make any sense at all.
Yeah, like USA is a Monster and Gorilla Toss.
Yeah, they were like, it sounds like Gorilla Toss.
But I was like,
what part sounds like?
When I saw the Gorilla Toss thing, it seemed like they were strictly talking about the bass.
Yeah.
Just the sound of not even the bass parts, just the sound of the bass. But also in my mind, I was just like, this is such a like, this guy's experience, and like he's probably seen Gorilla Toss like
maybe recently
20 times, just recently. Yeah.
So
I'm like, all right. I have no idea where that's coming from, except for regionally. But yeah. And you were supposed to do did you do an ABBA cover ever?
No, that is a deep cut from the Twitter. I was like really into ABBA at the time, and I was like, we should do it.
I'm super into ABBA all the time.
Yeah, we were listening to it at my job today. It was like me and like the other like 4 a.m. baker, just like we're plowing through the discography.
But you gave 3 choices on the ABBA song, and you wanted to do Mamma Mia.
Of course.
Take a Chance is also classic. And I forget the third one.
I don't really know what state of mind I was in when I was like, we should do this, because there's no connection. Like, I don't even think that would sound good.
I feel like we've thought about a lot of covers that have no connection that we kind of like take advantage of. Like, was it a Rihanna song that you wanted to do? Yeah.
I was pushing for that because like I think that now the way we do things, there are a lot more covers that are possible. We over the summer when we did like a full US, and it gets, you want to switch things up when you're playing like a show every night for like more than a month. We were just doing this like really impromptu Nirvana cover, where like we wouldn't write it in the set, and I would just yell it to June. Like we played this wakeboarding festival in Valdosta, just like southern Georgia. Weird. And it
sounds
was so weird. It was so hot. We like blew a tire on the way there, and we're like super disoriented when we got there. And we were playing, and like nobody liked it. And like I think those are some of the funniest shows that we play where nobody likes it. And so like we were just playing the set, and like they told us to play for super long, so we were kind of like playing for kind of a long time. And then I was like, June, do the Nirvana song. June, do it. And like June had like clearly not remembered the riff, and like was like parsing it out like in the middle of our set. It was funny.
It was good. I think the vibe of the wakeboarding fest, since everyone was so far away from the stage, is like we couldn't tell what people thought. But afterwards, there was a lot of people who were like, "Oh, that was so cool." But no one.
But people like there was like a media area in front of the stage, and people left it. And it was so bad because the wakeboarding compound, everyone was wakeboarding in like a man-made lake.
Oh, wow.
So it was so hot, and I was like, can't wait to go swimming after our set. It's so hot. And we get in the water, and like it's so warm.
It's just the same temperature as the air.
So it was so gross. I just felt like I was bathing in
That
sweat.
doesn't sound
That sounds
great.
like pee water.
It felt like pee water.
Was that your worst show on tour experience?
Oh, you mean like ever or on that tour?
Just that one.
Just that one.
Unless
You've had some bad shows.
Yeah, we've played so many over such a long period of time, and also like our standards used to be a lot lower. So I think we definitely like the threshold is higher. So like we're like, oh, this wasn't as bad as that one time, but I mean, I guess maybe that was the worst show on that tour. I can't think of a.
I mean, I guess we had to deal with the tire the next day, so that like put a dampen on things because the tire was blown, and then it was like a gross wakeboarding thing, and do we even have a place to stay that night?
No, we got a motel.
We got a motel, so it was, but we got paid. I think
We did get paid. The dude who booked the festival was like super stoned at the end of the night, and like I really had to hound him for the money. It was fine. I'm trying to think if there was anything worse than that, and I'm kind of coming up blank. So, good job, people who helped us out over the summer.
Yeah.
What was the best show on that tour?
Ooh.
Tough to say. We played an amazing show in Albuquerque.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Albuquerque was really cool. We played at this zine shop called Corpus Workshop or something, and this band called No White Flag played, who were like a really cool like hardcore band, like sort of in like the style of like Gouge Away.
Is that place like a weird barn?
No, it's like in
Okay.
downtown.
Okay, then I'm remembering a different place in Albuquerque. But
Cool.
They
But,
also
I
did
mean,
zines and workshops.
People like it was the singer from Arroyo Deathmatch's new band played.
crazy.
They were just kind of like a straight up hardcore band, but like people showed up.
It was a
Like
small venue and it was packed.
Yeah.
It was like one of those things where the stage is like in front of the storefront window.
Yeah.
So you could like watch it from the outside. It was just completely packed.
it was like, it wasn't the best attended show of the tour, but it's like every single person in the room I feel like was so into it. And so like concentration wise of like people who like got it and really liked it, I think it was like some of the best reception we've got on that tour. We definitely like cleared some rooms, and like it's been that way for a long time. We played the first time we played Wesleyan. The room was like full at the start of our set. This was like 2 years ago. We weren't even like that weird. By the end of the first song, there were like 2 people. Like people were steady filing out
Onto the porch.
Yeah, it was crazy.
The regular thing that happens with shows there. It's
I
just
feel-
like, play whenever you want.
I feel like that was like the 50% thing that would happen if you just went to any show in Connecticut. Is like you would have a hard time finding it. It would like start at a weird time, and you would be like,
It's like the
"Am I
triangle."
allowed here?"
We're playing at Trinity on Friday, and it starts at 10:30.
Wow.
I am. Not,
But there's only 2 bands.
Really?
Yeah. But I have to work the next day at 4:00,
yeah.
so I'm not necessarily thrilled.
4:00 in the morning?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to just leave the show and go straight to work.
I've been doing that lately. It feels bad.
Yeah, that's awful.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we played Boston the other day, and it's like I got home at like 2 and slept for like 2 hours and went to work. And I've been doing it, but it's bad. And it's like the only time I've really been taking time off to play shows is like when we're playing shows that are like far away, where I know that like there's actually a chance I wouldn't make it if I tried to go.
Yeah.
Like we're playing at Bard next month, and I was like, gotta take that off.
So what's the best show that you ever played around here? Like in Connecticut?
I mean, this feels like too obvious, but we did the Space Ballroom date of like the Screaming Females tour with Thou and hers. That was like amazing. I think that was the first sold out show we've ever played, and I like really love playing there. I think the sound is like really good.
Yeah.
Still feel like weird being like up super high on a stage, but
Yeah.
you know, everyone at that place is just like really nice to us.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great show. I can't even think of like what's the next runner up that like isn't like, you know, at a real venue or something. The Emperor Extra was cool. Yeah, that was. I
really like that space.
Yeah, State House is great.
Shout out to State House.
We shouted out way too much on this.
Do we?
Not too much. That's
What's too much?
yeah.
There's like 4 venues
That's hyperbole,
locally.
but like
Yeah.
Shout out to all of them.
And if
really.
you're talking
I feel like every podcast episode gets like a mention of that, which is fine because it's new too, and it still needs promoting, but it's great. Anyway, sorry to sidetrack us. So the last physical release was on Howling Frequency, and you seem to like those
no,
folks, right?
the last one was self-released, right?
No, that was also on.
Oh, okay.
It was a little ambiguous. I mean, like Howling
Oh,
Frequency is just it's our friend Paul who
Okay.
he does like he plays guitar in this other band that I'm in called Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean, and he plays guitar in that band, and we've just known him for a really long time. He used to play drums in this band Derive, who were like when I was in Western Mass, they were like the first band that I met, and we've just known Paul for a really long time, and he was like, I want to put out your record, and I was like, cool. So yeah, they don't do like a lot of releases, but I love every release that he's done because like they're all just really good.
Yeah. No, it was very sick to like get that backing from Paul, and you know it was sick that it was like on a label. And it was, like, a cool
Yeah, that's the
name.
thing is like people will ask me like, what's up with your label? Like I feel like it's kind of like mysterious, and I was like, yeah, it's because I feel like it's just not that complicated.
Yeah, that happens a lot with just small time things. Like there was the whole
What are you just trying to say? The Mysterious Guy Hardcore
Yeah,
stuff?
that one.
I remember that.
Just that whole idea of Mysterious Guy Hardcore, where it wasn't really all that mysterious, it just wasn't publicized.
It wasn't promoted well.
Or promoted. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was like nobody was trying to
But,
be mysterious.
you know, people
They
bought
just,
into it.
Yeah,
People were like, oh, this is cool. I don't know who.
Mark McCoy was trying to be mysterious.
I guess that is true.
He definitely used that to his advantage to sell garbage bags and shit.
Yeah, I feel like it's like it comes from a good place of like, oh, like this is like against celebrity, but it almost kind of it's like counterintuitive because you almost seem like more like you have more of an ego if you're trying really hard to like not have people know who you are.
It's harder for someone from the outside to then broach a conversation or whatever.
Right.
You know, makes for a weird dynamic.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm the other band Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean that I'm in, it's like there is like because of like metal and like the internet and stuff, like there's like a decent amount of people who like know who we are, but no one knows who's actually in the band. So like everyone just assumes that we're like just like metal dudes and like smoke weed, and then like we show up and like I'm usually like looking like a sissy, and like everyone else in that band kind of looks like a sissy too, but like
I've listened to that band. I didn't know you were in the band.
word.
I have no idea who was in that band. I just listened to the MP3s.
Yeah, it's very much like I don't think we're trying to like put an image out that has like our faces on it, and I like it. It feels good. It's like I don't ever have to talk to anyone, and I don't want to.
Well, thanks for being on the podcast.
What? No, that's not what I meant.
But with you saying that, like the 2 times that I've seen you, you've kind of been a mouthpiece from the stage, like making jokes and like, you know, when there was equipment malfunctions, you were able to fill time and keep people interested.
I remember.
I forgot about that. That's why that show isn't my favorite. It's
Wait.
because I had the Here show where I just like was that the one where like my amp stopped working for like 6 minutes or
That was
something?
at the Body Show, and I was like, "What's your guys' favorite Vine?"
Yeah, which is a great line.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was good.
that's a great. Yeah, it's a good conversation starter because everybody has one.
Go.
Everybody, yeah, it's like everyone say it at the same time.
What is fine? I don't even know.
I remember being like, everyone say how your day was on 3, and I counted to 3, and everyone goes, good.
It was really effective. The other like awful banter thing that I think Sam experienced was though someone was like crack your knuckles on 3, and it was
That was one of the worst things I'd ever heard. It was at the Space. I don't remember what band it was, but they were like, on 3, everyone crack your knuckles, and it was probably one of the worst sounds I've ever heard. Like the sound of like a sold out the Space cracking their knuckles.
Wow.
Like a bag of wet ribs being thrown down a flight of stairs.
That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, so when are you recording?
We're recording at the end of April and like bleeding into the beginning of May. So we're doing like 3 dates right now.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it all in 3 days.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I think compared to like some other projects, we definitely like do not like to spend a lot of time.
I love that.
In the
I
studio.
mean,
I think a lot of bands spend way too much time in the studio. 6 months? What the fuck are you doing for 6 months?
Okay, true. I was watching the Battles documentary where they were like, we hold up in the studio for like 6 months to make this record, and I was like, what the fuck?
Well, those guys are just improvising the entire time and then figuring out like,
and they're picking
I
the
like
best ones.
those 10 seconds.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's because we like to like bang things out as quickly as possible. I think it's just because we we fund our own releases and like it costs money to go to the studio.
Yeah.
So 3 days is like we made our last full length in 2 days or 2.5 maybe. Maybe
2 days.
Yeah,
and
2
then we paid
days.
some extra for mixing and stuff on the side.
But yeah, it's like we just 3 days feels indulgent.
Yeah. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
And like we're always Seth, who works at Machines with Maggots, who like does like the last couple records we've done, and he's doing this next one. He's always like, it's gonna be like a lot to like fit in, and we always do it.
How many songs are you trying to do?
I think we're up to 10.
I thought it was 11.
11.
But it's longer. They're longer.
Yeah, and a lot of it this is like the first time we're gonna be recording with the drum pad and like samples, so there's gonna be a lot of like figuring out what we're gonna have to do. But I think we're trying to do a lot of it like before we get in there. Like I'm definitely like clicking out all the songs and stuff like that. So
Yeah, this is gonna be our first time recording to a click. Should be interesting because I am bad at the drums. So it's like I'm like, what is that noise? It's the click. There's also like in addition to like all the like the clicks and the BPM stuff that we're trying to like work on a little bit. It's like there's also like a fair amount of like overdubs and like guest like vocals and instruments that we're all trying to coordinate, and it's all very exciting. But until it really comes together, I feel like I can't even picture what it's gonna be like.
What other instruments are you trying to bring in?
we have like a couple people who do strings that we've used before, like cello, violin, and then we're gonna have a Barry sax for the first time since actually our demo, our very first iteration. We had Barry sax, but we're bringing it back, and then there's also and then I'm gonna do trombone like usual. So
How many instruments do you play?
Just piano and trombone, and
Okay.
I play both of those, at below.
Oh,
standard.
don't be modest. June has a degree in music composition. I think I roasted you by saying that at a show that we played.
Yeah, you did.
It was because you mixed up the input and the output on a pedal, and I was like, wow, degree in music composition. Cannot get the input and the output correct.
We all mess up things, but
People love when I roast you.
if people do love when we attack each other on stage.
Our banter.
Our banter.
It's really just because we've known each other forever. The banter just happens very naturally.
Yeah. It also gets way more obscure and obscene the longer we've been doing it. Like end of tour, we're like not even
End of tour, it's like, or like we're just playing without stopping because it's like I don't even want to say anything.
Oh,
Are you doing anything with that degree? I mean, besides the band.
I'm
not trying to blow up your spot.
No, don't blow up don't worry about it. I'm applying for like grad school potentially right now, and then I'm writing a lot of pieces on the side. Like I'm writing a saxophone piece for my friend who's going to UHAR right now. And Yeah.
It's getting performed in Providence next month, right?
Yes.
Or at the end of this month.
Might be getting performed. But yeah, no. So I definitely I still like to write music for people and ensembles, and like I've had like this Hartford string quartet performed one of my string quartets last year.
Oh, that's awesome.
And things like that. Yeah. So I'm trying to keep that going. But you know, if I score like a sick music editing job or something, I'll be like, yes, degree worth it. So
yeah, Juna's like a really cool composition piece that they did like a live session for at Machines with Magnets where we recorded called How to Ripen a Peach, and it has like a lot of really you just gotta watch it.
Oh, I've seen the video for this.
It's cool. Yeah. Clara, who sings on that, sings on a lot of our records and is going to be singing on our new record, is just like a very treasured friend.
Yeah. No, that
I secretly dream of an iteration of our band where Clara is a member.
Honestly, it's possible.
It is possible.
So sick.
I do feel like the bar to join Space Camp is pretty high at this point because it's like it came down to this. It came down to the two of us, and like to get in on this, like you must be this tall.
Literally, like we
oh yeah, we're tall too.
6 foot minimum for a while.
One time someone called us like beautiful elves.
Who's good?
They were like, you guys are like a band of beautiful elves.
Tolkien elves.
Sure.
Not Christmas elves.
Yeah. Christmas elves are the worst.
Not short. Yeah. Not short. Get that out of the way.
Your drumming style,
Mm-hmm.
you beat the shit out of them. Like, so you're kind of using like a long arm advantage of just like destroying drum heads.
Yeah, I think it used to be a lot worse. Like when I learned the drums to be in this band, so like I used to just hit so hard because I didn't know what I was doing, and now it's like
I think that's great. That's a great style for this.
I was doing it in the way where I was breaking things all the time. Like I broke so many sticks all the time. All my cymbals would get cracks in them after like 6 months. I was like constantly breaking snare heads and stuff, and I was like just spending so much money on like drum equipment because I was just breaking it because of like brute force, and so I think I've honed it in a little bit, and like it's still I used to always like I always cut my knuckles on like the rim of the snare from like hitting it too hard and like irresponsibly. That hasn't happened in a while, but when we played in Boston a couple of days ago it happened, and I was like, shit, this doesn't happen in a really long time.
It used to happen all the time.
It used to be like my knuckles were just like fucked.
Yeah.
One of your new songs doesn't have drums at all. You I don't want to say just sing, but
Right. Yeah, no, there's a couple songs on the record that
so
are
that's like more of a style of what you're heading into, like
I think it's turning out to be more like a hybrid thing. Like I don't think it's like this super linear thing where it's like we're working towards not having a like a drum set or anything, because I think that it just feels like we're doing stuff that we want to be doing. I think the way we've always written songs is like this is what we're really excited about right now.
Yeah. So hard to see what's gonna come next.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these big drum sounds have just come from like both of us sort of like listening a little bit less to like traditionally like heavy music and listening like a little bit more to like industrial and even like PC music oriented pop, like Sophie and like some of the Charlie XCX songs that are produced by Sophie. So basically just anything she's ever done. But even some other like PC music producers have a lot of like drum sounds that I think I've been like, oh, that's cool.
do you have any goals? Like what's like something you want to achieve with the band beyond the recording session? Like thinking beyond the next 11 songs.
Yeah. I feel like definitely just like that being kind of like seen by people would be exciting. To any like obviously like just attention would be sick. But definitely like being able to like go on a tour with a bigger band, but that's so hard for us to even say because there's so few like bands that we'd actually feel like we gel with really well.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, that's kind of a tall order, but it's definitely like the overall goal I think would be to hit some kind of thing like that.
Yeah, I guess creatively I think of something that I've always wanted to do is like do the thing where you're like, we're holding up in this like remote location and we're just gonna make a record over like 2 weeks or something. It's like Night at the Opera or whatever. It's like we're just gonna do it, and I feel like that feels so inaccessible because I can't even imagine how much money that costs. But I would like to do that.
I definitely like including more musicians and working with more people. Like I would love to do like even though collaborations are hard, but I would still love to like do collaborations with certain bands or like even bands we haven't even heard of yet. It's just like that I would be excited about like working with, because I feel like how we like to bring people into the studio or new sounds and stuff. I think like that's an exciting thing, is like being able to make a bigger thing out of larger groups of people.
Yeah, and it's I do think a lot of this is like it's possible only when you're not like also working part-time. Like so much of like I feel like a lot of the musicians who I like see them like doing stuff and like I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. It's like the way that you're enabled to do that is like you're not like tied down to this job.
Yep.
I feel like when like a couple years ago I was like, we're just gonna tour all the time, and now I'm like, how does anyone do that? Like especially when you're not making any money. Like we obviously don't lose money on going on tour, but it's not enough to really justify.
If you're not losing
working
money, then you're way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we've been really lucky. I think our first tour, we only barely lost money, and now we're at the point where it's like going on tour is a thing that we'll make some money from, but it's also only because we don't spend any of that money on ourselves. Like this tour over the summer was the first tour where we were like, all right, maybe Space Camp will buy us some food once a day. Like that had never, like we've been touring for like 4 years now, and that only just happened, and we were allowing ourselves like a $10 per diem. And it still worked out, which was great. Saved a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
And I love it.
It's crazy how like irresponsible we like keep all our finances. We still don't allow ourselves to actually irresponsibly spend the finances. Like, you know, we don't keep track of our sales that well or anything, but like we at least know that all of the money that we've made with Space Camp is in one box, and we're going to spend it on recording.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's like a cycle every year where it's like we go to the studio, spend all the money we've accumulated over the last year, have no money. The physical release comes out, we make some money off that, and then we just play a bunch of shows, make more money, go back to the studio. And it's like any of the studio time we've done the past 2 years would have been possible if it weren't for like universities with like endowments.
Yeah, like there was literally I think it was the full length where like we scored like a really nice college gig like right before it, and like we wouldn't have been able to do it without that. It's like little stuff like that just makes it so sick.
Yeah, it almost gets to the point where like I can't really picture what it would be like to like do this in a way where like money wasn't as much of an object as it is right now. Like it feels like there's a lot of possibility there.
My next question was just going to go back to croissants. So
oh, yeah.
I was just going to say, is baking a passion? Like, is that something you are also trying to do with your life?
I mean, I think that it sort of is the thing where you end up in this position, and then you, like, with the passing of time, you're really only qualified to do this one thing.
Yeah.
And when I started I worked, like, customer service and stuff in bakeries, and so I got this job doing actual baking that I was not qualified to do. And now it's like, I mean,
that's how you get a skill.
Yeah, and it feels good. I mean, I don't know if it's like gonna be my top priority. Like, if we had some sort of opportunity to do this and like more than we currently do, but no, I mean, making stuff, it feels amazing to be a part of something from start to finish, and then like look at it and like be proud of it. Like that's what we do with. I don't want to be making this analogy between croissants and a Space Camp record, but it is happening.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to bring it up.
No, it's fine.
I've heard Sam talk about what they bake, and
it's
it sounds incredible.
It goes deep, and it's like cool to be like if this. I'm not gonna finish the thought. It really feels like we're just gonna keep playing in this band forever. So
Hell yeah.
it truly does feel like this will never end.
Well, if there's only two of you, it's really down to one of you has to die.
Word.
We made the joke on Instagram because we posted a series of pictures of all of our pre-tour photos. So we'd have Sam's mom take a picture of us in front of the van.
Yes, I've seen this.
Yeah. So it was like 4, 3, 2, and then we were joking that it was like in 2 years the band's gonna go on tour by herself.
It's like next year one of us does a solo tour, and then the next year it's like the van is like self-driving. You can like bursting through the wall of venue.
Fully automated.
It's like some danger music shit. Like, just driving around.
Oh god.
That might be easy to book.
Yeah, just really easy to book.
We know a lot of people who like really vibe with stuff like that. We play a lot of noise shows, or used to. Not as much. It's like every time we go on tour, we end up playing at least one noise show.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
Sometimes you roll up to the show and there's like a hardcore band brandishing a knife, followed by a noise act, and you're like, oh, cool, we're playing next. Nice.
When you really don't fit in a genre box, you play some like really weird shows. Like spanning like the whole spectrum of like the softest thing you can think of to like the scariest thing you can think of, which was the dude with we played the show in Orlando. It was like this like black metal band, and the singer was wearing a ski mask all the time. It was like a ski mask guy, mysterious guy, black metal. And then halfway through the set, the dude takes out a knife and starts like lunging at people with the knife. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, am I going to die? I left because I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, know your limits.
Know your limits. I'm not trying to die at the show. I mean, obviously no one was going to get stabbed, but you were thinking about it.
You don't know that.
And also, yeah,
you
like,
don't know
people
that.
get pushed into people, like, having a knife out,
Yeah.
like...
A knife out during a show, bad
It's
choice.
so bad.
It's like, right up... we talk about it a lot, but there was a show we played where someone had fireworks lit off their chest. So, you know, like, it never stops.
Rick's guilty of the fireworks in the show a lot.
Oh!
Okay, well, this was...
I might have put people in danger.
Oh, no!
The fireworks experience we had...
Thankfully, I can say that there has been no harm done in the end.
I would say in a ventilated room, sure. We played like the show that our fireworks experience was at was in the basement of a bar.
Oh yeah, he did the basement.
I've done the basement of a house.
He did one of those
of a friend who now works
now
here.
He works here.
That's funny.
You know those ones that like shoot up like 100 feet in the air and then they spin?
Yeah.
He shot one of those off so it hit the roof of the ceiling in the basement and just spun and shot sparks
That's
everywhere
scary.
for a long time. Like a couple minutes.
I feel like you couldn't get away with that now. I feel like I mean
maybe, I wouldn't even try personally, but
Yeah.
I'm also much older than I
Yeah,
am.
you reached an age.
Anyway.
You shouldn't do that anymore.
I do think that boundaries are definitely adjusted in noise shows, and like some shit flies there that wouldn't fly anywhere else. And
Yes.
I don't think that's a good thing, but like, but it is a thing.
I've seen that video of that guy throwing glass at the audience, you know. We've all seen that.
That's a terrible idea.
I think they had like contact mics connected to them. Like,
Okay. Sure.
Contact mic play. That can get out of hand real
It's
quick.
too accessible. I mean, we owe a lot to the humble contact mic. I think our new record features is made possible by like the extremely cheap Amazon contact mic, where it's like you get like 5 of them for like it's like $10.
yeah, good deal.
So you know, like I don't have a real snare trigger. It's like a contact mic that's taped to it, which like it shouldn't work the way that it does. You know, it should not work as well as it does.
We've been graced with like the gear, honestly. Like once we got the pad, everything was just like I feel like there's a lot of musical things I've been thinking about or like tried to do where like there's like a lot of gear that's holding me back, or like if I had this thing I'd be able to do it, but I feel like where we are now for Space Camp, we just like have all the right stuff right now.
We always joke about the pad being our third member because it carries a lot of weight.
It adds a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we would be the same two-piece without it.
I feel it would be.
We were, because we had done a two-piece thing like a good amount of times, just because like there was a show and it was like we couldn't miss it, or like someone just bailed at the last minute, and it was always like presentable, but I was never fully confident with it, and I was like, and now I feel like it took us like a little bit of time to adjust, but it was like it took us so little time, like, to get to the point where we're comfortable with it, and I'm like, I feel really good about where it's at now.
Sick. What you got?
Song titles.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's finally get around to this. So your song titles have some levity to them, I guess you would say, and some of the song content as well. But do you feel like you're ever gonna? I mean, I guess you would never worry about like not reading wacky headlines like emotional support peacock, but,
Right.
Are you gonna keep it up? Basically, is what I'm asking.
It's it's interesting because I feel like we are going to keep it up, but it's sort of different. Where it's like a little bit heavier, but it's still like the song title's still whimsical, but there's like actually some meaning behind it this time, now, and
Which is hilarious because I think before we started naming most of the new songs, which half of them are still unnamed, someone was like, "No more stupid titles," and then the first thing they said was like, "Welcome to my castle,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "That's hilarious."
The first song on our new record is a really good example of a stupid title that does not have a meaning behind it. It's the first song is called Space Camp iHeartRadio Music Festival Meltdown, in reference to the Green Day iHeartRadio musical festival meltdown of like 2014, something like that. You guys haven't seen it?
I vaguely
the video
remember
where
it
they
being
get cut off, and like Billy Joe Armstrong's like super drunk, and he's like, "What the fuck?" and he smashes his guitar.
It's pathetic. It's because who wanted to play it? Who plays?
It was
Usher?
Usher. They got their set cut actually, so Usher could have a longer set.
and in the middle of it, he was like, "What do you think we are, Justin Bieber?" He's like,
And-
"This song 1 minute." It was pathetic.
I also,
It was awesome.
I like the sort of like undercurrent of like every release we do has a song that has our name in it. I think that's funny to me.
Yeah,
I only know the face tattoo. What else you got?
we have an older song that I think didn't even make it onto a real release. It was just like a single called "Space Camp Spelled Wrong" after the Donners song. Which is,
I was like, that's funny.
yeah, it's
And then our most recent release is a song called Space Camp Fun Heats Up on it.
yeah, and that one's even stupider. So that one has a real stupid backstory.
Did either of you go to space camp?
People ask us this question a lot.
Well, sorry, I'm not trying to be.
No,
What
generic.
are your influences?
No,
Not allowed.
no, I don't. No,
How do you feel about the Locust?
I do. I mean, like, great band.
Great band.
I take it as a compliment because I'm not that good at the drums.
Are you that good at science though, where you could go to space?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Neither of us have been to space camp. For
What
what it's
about
worth.
as like a musical consultant? Could you then go to space?
Maybe if they wanted to play some sounds in space.
There's
the
like,
non-vacuum
I think there
parts.
was some research about that at some point.
Did you do your research enough to find out where the name came from?
No, I got nothing.
It's from the Hop Along song.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Hospitals.
There's no meaning. You can't really read too far into it. It's just I
I
think
got a store that I base my life around that has zero meaning. Zero meaning.
it's you just pick it.
You can just pick it sometimes, and that's okay.
It's sick. No, we
People
just
will
picked
never
it.
stop asking what Red Scroll means or where it comes from.
That's the thing. Is just like I feel like pretty much every band lives with the curse of their name of having to explain it a million times.
Like the fall of Troy being like, we picked it out of a history book. At least we don't have something that stupid.
Yeah, at least people ask us if we've been to Space Camp. People ask us if we've seen the movie Space Camp. I have seen the movie Space Camp. It's fine. It's just goofy. I don't really like
It's
it.
real 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's extremely 80s. I don't think I would ever watch it a second time.
I've watched it a few times.
Did you know that they have an adult space camp?
Yeah, I did hear about
I
that.
about
just
that.
heard it on a podcast the other day.
I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
I also don't imagine there's not an adult any given thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just because people have a lot of money.
Yeah.
I also feel like adult
Certain-
nostalgia has become like a thing. Like I do feel like when we were in Portland, Oregon over the summer, I was like, this feels like the hub of adult nostalgia. Like you have like bars that serve cereal. You have bars that have arcade games at them. Like I would be surprised if there wasn't a bar that had like a bouncy house inside or something.
That's next.
That's probably somewhere.
That's next.
Yeah.
$1 million idea right there.
$1 million idea. Put the bouncy house in a bar. It sounds like a lot of vomit waiting to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely no.
Beer and bouncing.
Do not want any.
Trampolines are already like the most dangerous thing on earth. Why not
Yeah.
get people drunk and then put them on a
We
trampoline?
went to a trampoline park, and
Oh
I
my God.
immediately, like within the first 5 minutes, like messed up my back and my leg, and I just looked around the whole place.
So
I
weird.
paid money to use the massage chair they had there because I felt so bad, and the whole rest of the tour I was like, I'm hurt.
It's it's so funny because that was such it was a gross experience for everybody, but when you're like 3 weeks into the tour, you're like, we gotta do something different. So it's like, we're going to a trampoline park. It's gonna be super gross. I don't want to take my shoes. Yeah, I was like, we're gonna get a staph infection. I don't want to take my shoes off, but we're gonna do it.
Some little kids schooled us in basketball.
Oh, true. This like 8-year-old took us to church.
Oh, and
He
you're
was like,
so
"You want to play
tall."
horse?" Yeah, literally. We're so
on the
tall,
trampoline,
and extremely unathletic.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter how tall you are when you're on a trampoline.
No,
True. The trampoline is an unfair advantage.
Very Space Camp Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I'm always hoping more people will pick up on that. And
So you tweeted a picture of someone's receipt, basically. Did someone actually go through and...
Someone actually, our friend got approved for a credit card and was like, oh, you know what I should do with this PayPal credit card?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I'm not kidding you.
I was like, what? Is this fake when we got that?
It was, yeah, so stupid. And Sam makes it public every year when it's like not worth to be heard by a single human. Like no one should listen to those songs.
It's like a yearly tradition where like I post it and June's like, why did you do that?
Maybe one day it will stop.
No.
But you just made like $700 off of it, so
Yeah.
$666.69.
Exactly.
Hilarious. And you could just disable downloads on Bandcamp. Like,
Yeah, it's very funny.
Kudos to your friend for supporting the band that much, I guess.
Someone's gotta do it.
I feel so dirty thinking about that. It just feels
It's fine.
get like free merch for life or something. Not trying to put that idea out there if you haven't thought of it, but
I don't know if that's that great of an incentive for us, this band.
I don't know. You have really good designs for shirts.
Oh,
Thank you. We're
I like the Motorhead rip. The
That was
unicorn is
great.
sick.
I think we're gonna do that on a T-shirt because I want the design to really run its course. The person who does those, they did that design and they did the design for our summer tour poster, which I really really loved. They're in this band called Gasm from Montreal. Just like a really cool, like kind of like straight up like hardcore band. They're like really good. And their guitarist Seb does like some really great graphic design, and like they just have like the best merch. And I was like, I want that. And I feel like we're getting towards the point as a band where like almost all the stuff we have done is kind of by the same people in like a way that feels good. You know, I always think of that episode of King of the Hill where Hank is explaining to Bobby how you have to have like your guy for everything. And it's like the episode where Hank finds out that his car guy has been overcharging him for cars for his whole life.
It's nice to have. We love to like back things like with the people. We love to back brands. We like go to a lot of the same places.
Oh, we
on
love
tour.
materialism. We love to back CC's Pizza Buffet.
Absolutely foul.
Every tour we go to. Well, we always go to the CC's in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, as like a disgusting ritual.
And we used to go to the one in DC all the time, but we passed it this last tour because it was like the last day, and we were like, we're not gonna like throw up. And we were like, oh.
CC's is so cheap. It's so cheap. If you don't know, if you're listening and you don't know how cheap CC's is, it's like $6 for unlimited pizza, salad, and soup This podcast brought to you by CC's Pizza Buffet.
That'd be sick. I've never been there.
I don't think there is one in
either.
Connecticut.
Yeah, the closest one is in DC.
There used to be a Pizza Hut buffet in Connecticut.
Yeah, there was one. There's up until recently there was one in West Springfield too, but I don't know what's happening to the buffet. Are people
Buffets are on the way out.
Dude, I love
they've
buffets.
been out, but
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's never a thing I was really into.
I was very into buffets for a long time.
Yeah.
I weighed more than this.
I think if this band was a style of restaurant, we would be a buffet.
Which is so weird because I feel like there's a point in my life where I was like, oh, buffets are so sick, and I never went to them. And then the second I was like old enough to buy my way into a buffet, I was like, I never want to go to
It's not worth it. But
So,
There's a reason it's cheap, you know? This food was prepared last Thursday.
it's like there's always something that doesn't. This is why I feel like we are like a buffet. Is that there's always something there that doesn't really belong, and you're like, why is that there? And like they're not even doing it well. That's like us whenever we try to like do jazz or something.
it's so funny. That's a good example. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry you don't like buffets.
I like.
You can't relate because you don't know
I'll
about
have like a
buffets.
lunch Indian buffet.
Oh, yeah, because those are
That
good.
barely counts as a
Those
buffet.
are like pure.
They're
like,
quality.
They're
Yeah.
like adorable.
It's also not $6.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be like
Jamaican food's like a buffet. Like
Yeah.
Chandels or Caribbean style. That's like a
10.
buffet.
Yeah, sort of.
Another good spot on tour is when we got. That wasn't even the last tour. That was a weekend. We went to some Jamaican food restaurant at like 1 a.m. It was
Oh yeah, it was in DC. The Jerk Pit.
The jerk.
It was way late at night, and we went to the Jerk Pit and we got food, and it was awesome.
The second floor of the jerk pit was a club. So if after you finish eating your food, you could go up to the club.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa. It's pretty sick.
We love food.
We go
really
on tour
do.
for the food.
There was,
What's some good food you've had on tour
yeah, tell us more about food.
Oh.
God.
besides the
Just
buffets?
McDonald's breakfast.
A real one that is it the Spiral? Diner?
Spiral Diner. There's a chain. There's one in Denton. There's one in Houston. There's one in Dallas.
Ooh, also Salt Lick Barbecue in. I think there's one in Dallas.
We love barbecue.
It was some of the best barbecue of my life was there.
I love barbecue because it's so regional. So it's not like it's like a universal experience. It's like, oh, we're in the Carolinas, we're gonna get some great pulled pork, or it's like every sort of like region of the South has like its own thing that it's known for. It's like, oh, we're in St. Louis, like it's ribs time, or is it? Yeah, we were in Kansas City, and we were like, let's get some barbecue. And we always we're not always good at picking the place, and we ordered a bunch of barbecue, and like we were playing this house show. We played over the summer. We played 2 shows in Kansas City, and the first show was we played in the middle of a comedy show as like the musical act. So weird. And they paid us in tips. We made like $11, and someone put someone dumped some honey barbecue Fritos into the donation hat. And
The spirally ones. Too.
we ate the Fritos. But then, anyway, we played a late night house show afterwards, and we ordered a bunch of barbecue. And someone saw that we had ordered it from this place, and they were like, "You guys, that's the honky spot." Fuck, we got it from the honky spot.
It's so hard to tell.
I mean, how can you tell?
It's impossible.
Without asking.
Whenever we get to a place, we're like, where would the locals go? That's like the big question.
It's hard to
It's hard to find out. It's hard. The locals don't even know where, especially the DIY locals. They're like,
Oh, McDonald's breakfast. Love McDonald's breakfast. This podcast brought to you by McDonald's breakfast.
We'll take the money and run.
It is now available all day.
Oh, and we also definitely frequent like Waffle Houses and In-N-Outs when we're in those territories. So those are both fantastic.
Yeah, we just love fast food. No shout outs to any local spots.
Yeah, I'm out of questions. So fuck it. What do you got?
Have you had any run-ins with cops? I just noticed that your Facebook band interest is fighting cops.
Yeah, I think that definitely was put there.
Also, like, all your social medias are a little behind, but
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
fine.
Facebook. Who,
Yeah,
like,
no, I know.
Facebook feels like a chore that we do. But, I mean...
Do you have an aunt that checks it?
Literally, it's like my parents blow it up all the time. In a good way. Love you guys. we've been pulled over a couple times on the way home from shows. I mean, nothing. The cops have came to like a million shows that we've played.
Oh yeah. I think the funniest cop encounter was we were trying when our bass player was still in the band. We were trying to like leave a show that we played in Boston, and they had been summoned clearly by us being loud, but we were trying to get this gigantic cab out, like huge, like bigger than even an 8x10, and we were like the stairs like had like a turn in the middle, and so it was just nearly impossible. So we finally get to the top of the stairs and like almost getting out of the door, and there's cops right there, and they're like, we could take that away if you want, and we're like, please take it, like we do not want to carry it anymore. And I don't know,
they were like, is that DJ equipment? And we were like, no. And they were like, if we see you with this on the street, we have to take it from you.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, we've like most of the shows that we've played where the cops have came in has been because of our set. I don't know if that's like it just is what it is. Not even really saying it as like a bragging thing, because you usually
just like house spots or
yeah. Well, actually, over the summer we played a backyard show in Vegas, and the cops came while we were setting up. I was so pissed.
Yeah, it's because the band before us played for like a little bit too long.
Oh yeah.
Because also
10, 15 minutes at most.
Yeah. The local dropped off, so it was both of these bands were both on tour. And they played for like 45 minutes, and then as we were setting up, the cops came, so we didn't get to play. And then everyone at the show who was like, younger people were like, oh, we don't have a place for you to stay. Like, sorry, we can't help you. Like, sorry, we can't do anything. Like
abandoned.
What do you mean?
Abandoned.
Abandoned in Las Vegas.
I hope that they're not listening to it.
Don't care if they're listening.
Yeah, we ended up stayed at a casino.
Yeah, it was fine. It was one of the better motels.
Does anybody from Nevada listen to the podcast?
There might be like one download ever from Nevada, to be honest.
We get to see like the map. Zone in.
I mean, we're mostly northeast.
Yeah.
We have that on Bandcamp too.
Yeah.
Get the map. And it's got people's.
So a lot of Malaysian downloads.
Really? Oh, from us?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Oh, I can't say.
We got hit with a bunch of Australians once. I don't know why.
I don't either.
That's sick.
We only interview Connecticut people, but somehow
there's a lot of like ones in like various random,
we got that
like
too.
Easter Island or
we
Christmas Island or one of the other holiday islands.
We have a single person from Finland who like would always buy merch from us. And we were like,
shout out to Ilpo. He's been with us like since we were bad.
Yeah.
Like the people who I feel the most gratitude towards are the people who have like been supporting us since we were just super, super edgy and not good at our instruments.
There was a time where at the end of every Space Camp set we'd play like the most ridiculous song we had and we'd throw all our instruments on the ground. Like absolutely.
It was
without
like
fail.
I don't even really know who we were trying to emulate. We were just like, we love chaos. And since then, now I just get really nervous whenever I see people throw their shit around.
How are you gonna replace that?
It's still really hard for me to watch the Nirvana in Utero live video where they spend like 10 minutes at the end destroying the stage.
A lot of money.
I still watch it. You gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it.
At that point, it's not their money; they're smashing.
It's sick. I love the idea of that.
I do. I think that in certain situations, I still do get excited to watch somebody smash an instrument.
Another thing, kind of what I wanted to say earlier about like Sam's drumming style, like how much instruments we used to break. I recently just retired a keyboard that we had been using for like 3 years or 4 years, I guess, and like I've had to repair it. Like on this last tour, I pretty much had to repair like every 2 days. I like take out all the screws and like fix this one little thing that kept breaking. And on the inside of it is just decimated. It looks like someone was like dropping rocks on the keyboard. Like I just don't know how. And like I still don't.
Are you using a soft case or something?
No. I have a nice like really expensive hard case. It's because I do the thing. And
it's like they don't make gear that is meant to be used the way that we use it.
Yeah, like there was literally points where like a normal trick of mine would be to put my foot on the keyboard. Like
we were really into Foxy Shazam, and their keyboard player had like all these like moves.
The Ducks do that, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit too. So
it
all goes back to that.
All goes back to Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
means war.
Speakeasy DIY spot.
I'm sure those are thing. So what do you all have coming up? This is gonna come out on April 1st.
Yes.
April 1st. April Fool's Day, everyone.
Yeah.
So if you want to lie to everyone right now, here's a good time.
Oh,
but what do you really have coming up, like for April, like shows?
But also
et cetera?
lie.
Also lie.
yeah. Well, we'll do like a 2 truths and a lie thing. I think we're playing in Connecticut in April.
Is that when you're playing Never Get to Be Cool, or is that in May?
No, that's in May.
That's in May. That show's gonna be great.
Forever from now.
May 11th, we're playing with Hairs in Video Dome, and Coherence, great band. Someone else is playing. Oh, Intercourse. In April, we are playing a show. This is so embarrassing. April 12th, we're playing at Bard College with the band Priests, who I'm really excited to be playing with. That is like the thing in April. I mean, like, we're sort of hunkering down these next couple of months because we really want to get the album super tight. Mm-hmm. So I think we're playing like maybe 3 shows in April.
Oh yeah, no, actually, I think that those are the 2 shows we got. The 2 Root Cellar shows.
Oh yeah, we were there's a venue in Greenfield called the Root Cellar, and then there's a venue at Bard College called the Root Cellar, and it originally was that we were playing those 2 back to back, and now the Bard College show got moved. And I actually don't think it's at the Root Cellar anymore.
We're playing Machines with Magnets too.
Oh, we're playing Machines with Magnets. It's our first time playing there. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride, as they always say.
Who's it with?
This band Mar, like a sludge band from Providence. I hate that I can't remember who else is on it, but we love Providence. It's one of our favorite cities to play. I feel, in the way that I feel somewhat adopted by Western Mass, I also feel somewhat adopted by Providence.
Yeah.
Shows also start way late in Providence.
Yeah,
so late, it's so dumb.
Yeah, Providence hasn't hit our list of like we need at least $200 to come to your city. Like Boston and New York is firmly on that list.
Wow. All right. Okay. Let's not dispel anyone from trying to book us.
$200 and the local rib spot.
The
Love
local rib spot.
ribs.
Yeah, $200 and like info about where we can get food.
although those northeastern cities might not be the place to be looking for the local rib spot.
Me and Paul, who puts out our records, we do trivia every week at Bear's Barbecue in Windsor, and there's also a location in Hartford, and the food there is really bad. But we're in this cycle now where it's like we always win the gift card, and then we spend the gift card, and it's like I just keep eating all this like really subpar barbecue.
They have really good sauce, but bad.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't like the sauce. It's too sweet. But they have Dairy Bar ice cream. Love the Dairy Bar.
Have you thought about doing a zine where you just review all the barbecue spots on a tour?
Dude, I feel like people would be into that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd throw $5 at it. I don't eat meat, but I'd still want to know.
It's great. I have a friend. Well, we have a friend in Arizona who does like a soda review whenever he's on tour, and he's just like always finding the hard to find sodas, and he's reviewing them on Instagram, and people love it. I love it. I'm a sucker for shit like that.
I feel like also a good one would just be like fresh produce of the area, which I guess isn't like a review, but like just talking about how sick it was. Like we had these crazy fresh melons in like, was that Utah?
It was somewhere in the Southwest, but it was like
so
we were in this town, and the sign that was like "Welcome to this town" had a bunch of melons on it, and it was like "You're in melon country." And we went to this melon stand at a gas station, and they had like 6 different kinds of melons.
They're like, this is the Cadillac of melons.
Yeah, we bought the Cadillac of melons.
What is the Cadillac of melons?
It had like a crazy name. It was like,
I'd never heard of it.
The inside, it tasted.
It was beautiful.
I can't believe we're so used to the 2 bad kind of melons. Like
I will say, honeydew gets a bad reputation. Like, good honeydew is really good.
Yeah, no, I guess
It gets a bad rep because people use it as filler in fruit salads.
Yeah.
Right, and
all the time.
people use this
And
like
it's always
horribly
bad.
underripe. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so
yeah.
underripe. It's like super hard and like
And it just tastes like everything else in the fruit salad.
it tastes like the residual
because
juices.
yeah,
of like
exactly.
it's like has like a weird like pineapple.
Yeah, this melon, like, it doesn't. I had never tasted a melon.
Great
before
melon.
that. It was good.
Melon Town.
Melon Town.
Where should people follow you, like online and stuff?
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. We're on Instagram at SpaceCampCT. We're on Twitter at SpaceCampCT. We're on Facebook.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook is where the cops go, so you don't post it.
Facebook is where the cops
shows
go.
now.
Not a cop. Facebook.ct. That's my account. Yeah. Oh yeah. So you had that handguns Super Bowl tweet controversy.
Yes. If you're listening and you weren't aware, we made a tweet on the Super Bowl last year, Super Bowl 2018, and it was something to the effect of like the Super Bowl halftime stage gets like put out onto the field in like 30 seconds, and you all can't get your chain of 15 delay pedals off the floor after your set. And this year during the Super Bowl, the band Handguns made the exact same tweet, and we called them out for it, and they were actually really apologetic.
Which is funny because it's like you're allowed to have that same thought, but
it was.
But it's also
pretty
cool to give
plagiarized.
credit. Like
it was pretty plagiarized, and they were like,
Were they following you?
They were blown.
Like, had they followed you and seen the tweet?
I have a theory. They were not following us. I have a theory. It's one of those things where you see it and you remember it, but you forget that you didn't have that thought. This is something that happens to us a lot of times where, like, I'll, like, write a part, and then after we record it, I'm like, wait, shit. That's totally just another song. So I have a feeling that's what happened with Handguns, because when we made that tweet originally, it got, like, really posted.
It was, like, literally the most publicity we've ever gotten. Just from
it was really, really dumb. And honestly, like, that sort of attention, it doesn't mean anything. Like, if you look at our Bandcamp stats for when that tweet was made, it, like, nothing happened. Like, there's, like, maybe, like, a little blip. But you can't meme your way to the top.
Did you see much of an uptick when Stereo Gum said you were, like, a band to watch?
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah.
And that was when, I mean, I think we've only gotten better since then. But I think that piece is still, like, super well written. I'm a fan of it. I like that somebody thought, our friend Bruce who wrote that really thought that we were worth writing about, and I feel grateful for that.
So sick. Yeah, that was like before getting that kind of like attention, it's like it feels really good when you first get like, a big name and you're like, whoa, people care about us, I guess.
I will say that I still feel pressure from that because of the whole band to watch thing. It's like, what are they going to do? And I'm like, are we doing the right thing? Like, are people still watching?
I mean, I think you're doing the right thing. I've seen it live. It sounds good. I have high hopes about what you're going to do recording. It sounds like you have all your ducks in a row for that.
Yeah.
You're going to do it really fast. All that sounds great.
Yeah. I think we have really just been prioritizing, like, writing really, really good songs and, like, playing a super tight set. And, I feel good about that.
Yeah. I still love the, like, two different sides where, like, we spend a lot of time just making our live set sound good, but the time we spend to make recording sound good is, like, kind of different. Like, we spend a lot of time, like, revamping older songs in ways so that they're still interesting to us, but so that they sound better live. So I feel like that's, like, a fun thing we do, and then recording's, like, another fun experience. So I love the two. Can't exist without the other.
Sick.
Cool. Is there anything you all want to mention that we haven't?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Great. Then we're done.
We're done.
Call it.
Follow us on all the things, subscribe and all that, and Sam mentioned all our sponsors earlier, so.
McDonald's breakfast.
CC's Pizza Buffet.
She knows.
All right. Thanks for being on.